In the early days of NET, it was originally only used by chiropractors, but today it's widely used by both mind and body practitioners. Considering it's a technique that addresses emotions, what's a mental health counselor's perspective on this technique?
I was kind of always on the edge looking for things that would have a greater impact for my clients in terms of opening choices and ways that they could move their life forward and move past blocks. I was also the director of counseling services at the New York Chiropractic College. One day, one of my chiropractic student clients came in and he said, I've just been to this seminar. Check this out. You might be interested in this. And I'm looking at it and going, wow, that's really different. It's very interesting. And it was kind of curious to me that chiropractic was actually having something that had something to do with emotional states. So I decided to go ahead and register for the seminar. At the end of that weekend training, I was astonished at the level of emotional work that was taken care of with people by people who were chiropractors using this very elegant methodology of moving through trauma.
Now that NET is used by both mind and body practitioners, it continues to offer insight into the overlap that occurs between the mind and the body. If emotions have both physical and mental characteristics, do they hold the key to helping us further understand the interaction between the body and the mind?
The mind practitioner goes into the semantics or whatever the particular triggers are in a certain situation, or the body practitioner going in through the physiology. There's no separating that. It's all the same system. You can go in through the semantics and find the physiology because the physiology is inseparable from semantics. Okay, so this is actually an example of somebody that I worked with. Okay, she had a snake phobia. Okay, she was probably about 4. She was walking through this field. She'd never seen a snake before. And all of a sudden a snake was going across the path, but was kind of really curious and sort of fascinated by this creature that was moving and didn't have any legs. So at that moment in time, she's in this focused state of awareness, kind of wide open, taking in information. And what happened in that moment in time was her older brother came up and grabbed her and went, boom! Her physiological response, that alarm state, was, and what that led to was this one trial, associative learning, that the body now responds, I see that stimulus, and that's what happens. And that's
not consciously.
Not consciously.
That's the critical piece, that it's embedded from almost a survival, a big fright.
Right.
When in the wide open state in this case.
Right. Not an almost survival. A survival event.
Yeah.
Okay. Like she got through it, and yet that physiology and that artifact was still left. And ultimately, we don't know, because I wasn't there when she was 4 years old, and she may not be able to remember precisely what's going on, but that's not really important. It's not about finding out what were the facts, it's about finding out what works. So the story that's there is the thing that will go ahead and unlock the physiology and allow things to move again. So that if she sees a snake, she continues to breathe. It's kind of like there's a boulder and it fell into the stream. The stream is fine. All of a sudden this boulder falls into the stream. The stream's still the stream, but the stream is not functioning like the stream anymore. And then the stream does what the stream does, and it carries a couple logs down, and eventually there's enough detritus stuck in that place that there's a dam. And the water just keeps coming down because that's what it's supposed to do. And eventually it floods the countryside and becomes a swamp. And NET is like going and taking the rock out of the stream, and things flow down, and things move and flow in the way that they're supposed to, the way that they were originally. It's always about movement and the flow. Our system is trying to do its best to communicate and get our attention so we don't continue to do the same old thing again, and that this is an important thing to take care of. The problem is it doesn't speak English.
Right.
Its only language is physiology, because it's locked in the physiology and it's trying to do its best to communicate, you need to take care of this, because this is bogging us down and sucking life force out of our system.
To use Mark's metaphor, the mind and body aren't separate streams, but one unified physiological system. So restoring the flow affects the entire system, which is neither body nor mind, but an intimately connected both, a whole.
And the patient has both the issue or the patient has the problem, and they also walk into us with the solution.
Absolutely.
And in this culture, to me, that is such a critical thing, because we're just starting to step into this new understanding. And this is what gets me really excited, is the shift in healthcare of,
Right.
well, wait a second, I do have a say in this. Wait a second, I may have part of the solution. Wait a second, I can do this. And it's not that we don't ever need outside support or outside ways, but looking at, there's a whole heck of a lot of power in the human organism.
That's right.
Of
To self-heal.
Yeah, to self-heal.
Absolutely.